the Lions are the team, the big winner of free agency, I would have to say. If you talk about which team improved the most in a meaningful way, the first thing that comes to my mind is Detroit, because that was a 9-8 team with the 4th ranked offense in the league last year and the 32nd ranked defense. They needed to do something. The Niners and Eagles, you could argue they're a little bit better, but they're both kind of treading. I mean, there's not that much more they can do with they're kind of built teams. The Lions are coming. They are approaching that top tier. They had the worst defense. They added Emmanuel Mosley, Cam Sutton. They also added Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to go along with Kirby Joseph and Jeff Okudah and Aiden Hutchinson. All of a sudden, this defense is coming together. Do you think that they are on the Niners level yet?
I think they have to prove that. I think they've made the right moves. I like their coaching staff a lot. I think Dan Campbell is underrated. I think it's because of his personality. He's kind of like what's the word? He's kind of
got a Jim Tom Sula thing going on.
Yeah.
But he's an offensive guy. His offense is legit, and he's very aggressive. They go for it on 4th down a lot, kind of like Sirianni, and I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they have to prove it first, but I think they're definitely on that path. Their defense has improved. They kind of have a similar question with the Niners, though. Is Jared Goff the guy? I don't know. I mean, he made a Super Bowl, but he didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of the question. But they also have several draft picks early, so they can make some moves there. If they draft a quarterback, I don't know.
See, that's the thing. Like, we know that Jared Goff doesn't match up well with the 49ers defense. Like, he's a sitting duck. Now, the Lions have a great offensive line, and we'll see if the Niners can beat that. But they do have Bosa and Hargrave, so it seems like they should be able to put some pressure on Jared Goff if they face each other. And Goff is he's Geno Smith with less mobility. And the Niners own those kind of quarterbacks. If Detroit were to get a quarterback who could get outside the pocket and throw deep, then all of a sudden, the Niners really struggle against those quarterbacks. So if they get Anthony Richardson, I'm thinking, well, we'll see. Any guy, even Will Levis, man, anyone who can get out of the freaking pocket. Although Will Levis seems like he kind of is like Jared Goff in the sense that he might have some mobility, but he doesn't use it to escape pressure at all. Like, he's just standing there. I don't know. But if they get Anthony Richardson, all of a sudden they match up very well with the 49ers. Very well.
And they were a win away from making the playoffs last year. A one win away. Yeah. So the moves they made should be enough to get them over the hump and make the playoffs. I would expect them to make the playoffs just on paper. They look like a playoff team.
Let me just remind people of something. So the Lions were 9-8 last year. The Eagles were 9-8 in 2021. They were very aggressive in free agency last year, and then they went 14-3. That's sort of what the Lions are trying to do. They're 9-8. They're just very aggressive in free agency right now. They signed 5-6 guys, impact, like starters.
Yeah.
And now, the NFC North is wide open. Rodgers is leaving. The Vikings are such pretenders, and the Bears. Well, the Bears might be coming up too, but it seems like the Lions are the team that really seized the offseason more than anyone. And again, they got their first-round pick coming in this year, Jameson Williams from last year. He redshirted. He was hurt. And they got 4 picks in the top 60 this year.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be a factor, man. I definitely see them making the playoffs. I think they've had the best offseason. I think everyone is saying that. So they're going to be a factor, and they were good last year. They scored a lot of points last year, a lot of points. Their offense was potent. And now if they get this defense, they're going to be trouble. Yeah.
Yep. And again, you don't have to have a great defense in the NFL. There are no great defenses. You don't have to have a very good defense. You can have a middle of the road defense and win a Super Bowl. The last 2 have done just that. And again, like people say, well, it's Jared Goff. You can't take him seriously. Well, at least they know who their quarterback is, and they know they can keep him upright. The Niners can't say either of those 2 things. They don't even know who their quarterback is. And even if they did know, they couldn't say they keep him healthy for 8 games.
Jared Goff did not play bad last year. I think that's people are looking at him because he got traded from the Rams, and
plus the Niners have beaten him a million times.
Right,
but
he didn't play overall bad at all last year. He played really well. So I don't know. They're definitely going to be a factor. I'll see him in the playoffs. I would be shocked if they weren't in the playoffs. I think the Bears actually did a decent job this year too. So
I agree. Those 2 teams are the ones on the rise. The Packers could be last place team in the NFC North.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rod Simmons says Sala and D'Amico both specialized with linebackers before being DC. Wilkes is a DB specialist. So how will he make up for the DB communicator end now that Jay Ward is out? Interesting.
Gibson?
Apparently Talanoa is like a communicator extraordinaire. That's what he does. So I think they're going to lean on Talanoa. He's an all-pro. But that's a really good point. The last two Niner DCs were linebacker specialist guru coaches. And the Niners have had better linebackers than the rest of the league the last 4 or 5 years. Everyone's trying to have, because they're basically safeties.
Yeah.
They're basically DBs. And what the Niners look for isn't necessarily how you defend the run, it's how you defend the pass. Like Fred Warner's the best because you can't throw over the middle against him. He's freaking 6'4", and he will pick that ball off. So you got to go other places. Like other teams didn't figure that out. So now the Niners have a DB guy, which has really been the weakness of their defense for a long time. It's going to be interesting.
It's kind of funny. The 49ers, it seems like they built their scheme around this transition of having linebackers that are basically safeties. That's kind of the trend you see going through the NFL. So the 49ers are like, okay, we're going to be run heavy to go against these linebackers that aren't so big like they used to be. And it's not.
Going run heavy is not the way to go in 2023. Yeah. Please don't. You want to be balanced, but not. No one's going to win a Super Bowl running the ball.
You kind of saw that towards the end of the year. I think Kyle Shanahan, it seemed like he was changing. The play calling towards the end of the year last year.
It was a play action passing team all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Which is why it's really important for the left tackle to stop tipping run and pass, please.
Yeah, and to get a right tackle.
Ooh, that too. Rod Simmons says Solon, D'Amico both specialize with linebackers. Well, I just read that. Dave Barclay says, "What up, guys? Killing it as always. How much I miss? We just a little bit. Half hour. You good? Scotty Dippin says, is he married to Larsa Dippin? Says Renfro though. No, this dink and dunk is exhausting, and after 7 years, I can't keep watching this. Yeah, that's enough. Like enough with the dink and dunk.
Yeah,
but he's like
good, man. Renfro is good. He's his route running. Go watch.
He is very good.
Highlights, man. His route running is ridiculous.